Hi there, my name's Jenny and this is my channel, Jenny Ginger Ninja Crafts. Normally I share my paper crafts that I love to do, but I have been watching Flosstube videos for quite a few months now, and I just thought, why do I never share my cross stitching? Because I've been cross stitching for a very long time. So this is my first ever Flosstube video. So in case there's people who are not interested in any of my paper crafting videos, I'll introduce myself briefly. So my name's Jenny. I live just south of Edinburgh in Scotland, in Midlothian, with my husband and our two cats. And I have been cross stitching for a really long time. I was trying to think back when I started, and the first project I could remember doing was when I was a student, so in the 90s. Let's not count how many years ago that was. And I studied occupational therapy and I worked as an OT for 20 years. And one of the modules that I did was around textiles. So it was occupational therapy. I don't know if they still do so much of the practical things, but we use activity, meaningful activity, as therapy to help people to recover or maximize their abilities following ill health, whether that's mental ill health or physical ill health or a disability you were born with. So part of our training, as well as doing all the biomedical stuff and the psychology and the sociology, part of our training was to understand and be able to break down activity so we could understand the component parts. So we did some stuff very minimal. I think in first year we did a bit of paper crafting, and then I chose to do a sort of textiles module. And as part of that, we had to produce, as well as the kind of academic bit of analysing the activity, we had to produce some kind of project at the end of it. And I chose to do a cross stitch, and it's still hanging, I think it's still up in my mum's hallway. And it was like a harlequin in kind of not pastel, but not exactly bright, sort of turquoise and peach and yellow, I think. And it had little sparkly stars, as if he was kind of, there was magic coming out of his hands. And I remember that filament thread being a complete pain to work with. And I think maybe in my sewing box, I might still have a little bit of that reel of thread because I've never gone near it again since. I do remember I didn't get a very good mark for that module. I think she wanted it to be more expressive or something rather than following a pattern. However, I was hooked and I did a lot of projects in the next probably 10 years following that. I got my mum hooked on cross stitch. She still does Christmas cards for, I don't know how many Christmas cards she's started already, I think, for the 2021 Christmas. However, I think a lot of the projects I made, I gave to other people, and my mum has a few hanging up, so I'll maybe see if I can take some pictures when I'm next in the house. We're still not really allowed into other people's houses at the moment. We're allowed to meet up outdoors now, but we're not really meant to be inside people's houses. So we take her shopping and drop it at the front door, and then stand while she unpacks it and have a blether and then come away home. So I have one project in my house which is framed from those days. So I'm just going to see if I can lean down and pick it up without dislodging my microphone. So I think I finished this. I didn't do it for the millennium. I think I finished it maybe early 2000s. And I will check and see if I can find who it was by. It was a kit and it took me a long time to do, but I really enjoyed it. And it's got different historical events from the previous millennium. So it's got Isaac Newton, it's got Wren building St Paul's Cathedral. It's got Evolution and Charles Darwin. I think this is one of my favourites actually, with the butterflies. Shakespeare, the Apollo lunar module, Battle of Britain, Battle of Hastings, the rocket, the Stephenson's locomotive, the Magna Carta, the space shuttle Columbia in 1981, Columbia, hot air balloon in 1783, Fountains Abbey 1132, Captain Cook explores Australia, and Robert the Bruce, Bannockburn. And then in the middle it's got the kind of atom or something, and it's got various names around there, and there is some metallic thread, and this hangs up in my kitchen, so I see it every day, and I can't believe it's now 2021. But anyway, so that is the only kind of project I have from back in the original time when I did cross stitch. And then I think after that I had various ones that I was partway through, and then I don't know why, but I stopped doing cross stitch. I didn't really do crafting for quite a few years. I was busy with work. I did a part-time master's while I worked full-time in the NHS, so that took up kind of all my hobby time, really was gone to studying, and life just got busy. And then a couple of years ago I have a craft blog, which up until that point had been all paper crafts, and somebody I followed was doing this SAL stitch along that every 3 weeks they posted their progress on a project. And it's different from most SALs that I see nowadays that are several people working on the same project. This SAL is you can pick any project. The aim is just to pick up something that is a kind of an unfinished object, something you've had lying around, and I had a pile of things I had lying around for several years, and that you work on that and share your progress with the other 20 or so people that are in the SAL every 3 weeks. And so I said, oh, that's what a great idea to get back into cross stitch. And I used to do it years ago and I've not done it. And so the person that I was commenting on said, oh, join us then, just contact Avis and she'll add you in and join you. So I have ever since. I've missed a couple along the way. In fact, I think I missed the last one. It feels like it's been longer than 3 weeks since I posted. However, so that has got me going again. And since then, I will show you some of what I have finished. So I think all of these I had started. I think the first one I picked up was this one. And as you'll see, it's in the pile of shame with nothing done to it. Excuse me. So this one is a DMC kit. And it is called Black and White Cat. And you can see. And I really enjoyed doing it. I did it really quickly. So I started, I think I picked it up over kind of Christmas, and within a couple of SAL posts, so 6 weeks or so, I had it done. It's not massive, and I really enjoyed doing it again. So I kind of got the bug from that one. And then I'm not sure what order I did these in, but I have a couple of these Country Companions ones, which are not really my taste anymore. And I don't know where I would put it up. Maybe I could get it framed and give it to somebody that's got young kids. I'm not sure. It feels quite old-fashioned now, but at the time I really liked the Country Companions. So I got that one finished off, and it is very cute. I think one of the things that made me put them down was when I was like, I hadn't counted it all accurately, and I was a couple of threads out, and then I was like, oh, I don't know how to figure it out. And then this time round I sort of thought, just if it doesn't, if it's something that needs to be in the centre and it's not, pick it out and start again. And if it's just going to change the shading slightly of an animal or whatever, just crack on with it. Don't let excuse me, there's a saying, isn't there, something about don't let perfection stop progress or something. Sorry. I'm also addicted to Diet Pepsi. It's my caffeine of choice. This is another one that I finished in the last couple of years. So I should tell you that one of my cats is a black and white cat, and the other one is a big fat fluffy ginger cat who is on a diet currently. So this is, I think I might have had this before I even had the fat fluffy ginger cat. But again, it's probably a bit old-fashioned, but because it's a ginger cat, I probably would put that up if I ever get around to getting it made, framed. And this is the pattern. So it looks very old-fashioned, doesn't it? It is from Golden Bee Candamar Designs. Cat on heart picture. Right enough, that is what it is. It's a cat on a heart. That was one of the ones that, like, some of the flowers had counted it slightly wrong, and I thought, you're never going to notice when it's stitched up. It'll be fine. Fine. That Country Companions one that I just showed you, it's called Me First. You'll see there's a theme as I go through these ones that I've done. It's okay. I'm okay. I'm a crazy cat lady. I'm okay with that. This one, which is these two little tiger cubs. That's another one that I've done in this couple of years. Now I think I've got the chart here somewhere. Oh, here it is, sorry. This is called Endangered Young'uns. It's the Tiger, and it's by Jan Lynn. So that is the cover for that one. I think this one might have been a slightly more recent purchase. Before COVID, most years I used to go through to, there's a craft fair in Glasgow in March and maybe November time. There's a sort of spring one and a kind of Christmassy one, and quite often they have some cross stitch stuff, and I think I might have bought that at one when I was thinking, oh, I should do that again. I used to love cross stitch. So this one I finished, I think I just finished that kind of last summer, and I love this one. I used to have a beautiful grey and white cat, and this kind of reminds me of him. He was called Dudley. He was my first cat, and yeah, he was a gorgeous boy. So I changed the eye colour, and the pattern I think was for yellow. Right here, Mr. Darcy, the said fluffy ginger cat in the background, making his presence known. So I changed the eye to be green to match in with my old cat. And again, not done anything with it. That was another kit, so I just changed up the eye colour. And that one is called Majesty 2. Whoops. Majesty 2. And it is by Vervaco. Yeah, that's all I know. Dutch, I think. I think from 2002. So, I used to work with a woman. Must have been at the time that I was doing some of these, maybe working on my Millennium Sampler. And she had a son who was not that many years younger than me, maybe like 5 or 6. And she used to say, oh yes, oh I used to do cross stitch. Oh, I've still got my son's baby sampler to do. So I think it's something that happens to us, us stitchers. This is my most recent finish, and I really like it. Now this one I bought from Stitcher last summer when we were in lockdown. I'd finished my grey cat and I was looking for something, and I love sunflowers and I always grow them in my garden as long as the slugs don't eat them. Now, have I got the chart somewhere? Yes, here. So this is a more recent purchase. It's from Riolis and it is called Hot Summer. And what I didn't realise when I bought it was that it's like wool, acrylic wool, rather than stranded cotton or silks. So it was quite different to work with, but it's really lovely. I would say it was a little bit, sorry, terrible at doing this. I would say it was a wee bit harder to sew with than the silks. It kind of didn't glide through the fabric as much, but so yeah, so that is basically the pile of shame in terms of things I've finished but not actually finished. I do have a couple of Christmas things that I finished last year. I wonder where I've put them. They're maybe in my box with my sewing materials because I wanted to make them into little cushions, but I'll maybe show you them the next time. So that is all kind of, or a bit about my stitchy past and where I am just now. Since discovering Flosstube, it's cost me money. I don't know who I complain to about that. Is there a complaints department for Flosstube? But I have spent some money. I discovered that you can buy charts online, just buy it and then it appears in your inbox. You can print it off. I mean, that is very dangerous, isn't it? Because they're, considerably less expensive than purchasing a kit. And so for a while I was just looking at them. Oh, lovely. Oh yes, buy. And I kept seeing people making these little projects for little ornaments or cushions and things, and so I bought quite a lot of those patterns. And I mean, I have an Etsy shop. That's what I do. I have a card shop on Etsy that I probably sell about enough to cover my expensive craft hobby purchases. But anyway, I have a shop that I've had for, I think, probably 5 years on Etsy, and I didn't realise that you could buy cross-stitch patterns on Etsy. So anyway, I do know that now, and I have a few favourites. So last year for Christmas, I made a few gifts for people. I'll see if I can find pictures, because obviously I gave them to people, and pop them in. There was a couple of sweary ones, so I think I've got those with the sweary words covered up so that you don't, I don't offend anybody. But I also did some little Christmas decorations that I probably shouldn't show the pattern actually. I'll show you this is the one I was doing for myself, and this is as far as I got. But I would like to get this finished up, because even though it says 2020, it's a snowman. He should have a little top hat, and he's kind of got his fat body with the 2020, and he's got a little face mask on, which I think I need to go a darker blue for the face mask against the navy. The other ones I did were on white, but for me I decided to try it on the navy, which, now I'm in my 40s, my eyes are definitely failing me, and well, not failing me, but they're not as good as they were, and sewing on dark Ida is a bit tricky. So this is a work in progress, which I put down I think in December, and I need to pick it back up, and maybe that's my goal for the next time I do a video. I'm planning on doing one of these maybe once a month, because I don't stitch fast enough to share a weekly update really. So that is one of my works in progress, or WIPs. The other one, this year I signed up to do a couple of SALs, which again I blame Flosstube, because I thought what I was doing, my SAL that I post every 3 weeks, I thought that was what a SAL is. However, obviously, generally what they are is a project which comes out in installments, and there's a group of people that stitch along with it. So the first one that I purchased, and I've not got terribly far with, is from Lindy Stitches, and what is it called? It's called the Funky Menagerie, and I don't think I've even finished the first section. However, I bought myself a project bag. See, it's costing me money. I didn't know such things existed. And a needle minder. Didn't know these things existed. So this is how far I've got with it. I think that it's now completely out the pattern, so I need to get a move on. In my defence, this is the first time that I have used even weave, and it's fair slowed me down compared to using Ada. But I am persevering. It's a wee challenge for the eyesight. I need to have my lamp on and be really good lighting, and my strongest specs on and concentrating, not too tired. So I want to make some progress in this one, but I love it. And yeah, one of the Christmas ones I did for that I can't find, that must be in with Christmassy fabric, is another Lindy Stitches one, and she has such cute quirky projects which I love. So there's that one, and then the one that I've been working on most recently is my first Barbara Anna design, and it is called the Dreaming Girl, and again I think all the parts are out now, so that's part of it. I don't really want to show the pattern in case people can steal it, but so I am this far along with it. So I have used all the threads that were recommended, but it's meant to be on a sort of teal, kind of quite dark teal blue, and I couldn't really find that easily, especially in lockdown. I was just looking online and things, so I bought this kind of cloud patterned Aida. It's 16 count, and it's called Cloud Winter Sky, and I think it works quite well with the sort of dreaming girl. And yeah, so it starts off with kind of spring with the flowers around her, and then I'm almost finished with summer at the top here. And then I think there is some autumny things going here, and then there's winter at the bottom with some snowflakes and things. So it's beautiful and really nice to work on. And the first for this is that I have tried a kind of Ada that's got a pattern on it. I've never done that before. Again, I think when I started stitching, I don't know that really existed. And certainly I just tended to buy a kit. I did have some books and magazines actually, but I'd have a big bit of Aida, and I didn't really know all these other things that there are, so that is expensive but lovely. So yeah, so I would like to maybe try and get that one finished off. I think that should be possible, to maybe finish Mr. Snowman and the Dreaming Girl. The other thing that I was going to show you that shows just the gap in my stitching was I started, well, let me tell you, does it say what year? So this magazine, Cross Stitcher magazine, I think it's still on the go, 1996. They had a series of a Floral Alphabet. So I shall show you. This was some of them. So they're little square panels with different flowers for every letter in the alphabet. And I had done a few back in the day. And then, for some reason, I didn't buy one of the magazines. So I had however many installments it was, but then I didn't have I didn't have F, G, H, I and J. So when I was starting up with my SAL again and I was looking at it and I was thinking, oh, what am I going to do with these? I've got a few done, but I don't have all the patterns. So I had a look on eBay. And sure enough, I was able to find the issue of Cross Stitcher magazine that I needed. And for a few small number of pounds, I was able to buy it and get it sent to me. How amazing is that? So I now have all the patterns, and I did start doing a few and then I got a bit fed up with it. So I thought, well, I'll put it down. This is supposed to be fun, not something that I am, forcing on myself. So I've got a few that are done and I will pick it up again and do some more again. So this is the first one, A, Auricula. Might have done that back in the day. Bluebell I am not finished with. Then there's Crocus. I don't know what I'm going to do with these. But anyway, Daffodil. Oh, I don't know how you pronounce that. How do you pronounce that? They're very pretty. Eschalosia. My mother would know. I should ask her. Okay, I think now they're just random. The Oriental Poppy. That's pretty. A lily. Very pretty, but very poisonous to cats. Pansy. I've got some of these out in my garden at the moment. Quince. Sweet pea. I love sweet peas. And I've got a, what would you call it? Like a sort of tower thing that needs to be put together that I'm going to grow. Once we've put it together and planted it in the ground, we're going to grow sweet peas up that this year, I think. An umbrella plant. What does that one say? Yellow flag. Nepophia. I think they're red hot pokers. I had one of these in my garden last year. And there is a little bit of green, but it looks a bit dead. Not sure. My husband's from South Africa and I always see them there. And I have seen them in this country too, but I'm not sure my frozen Scottish weather has done it any good in our garden. But anyway, we try. So that is kind of where I am, where I've been, and a bit about hopefully where I'm going with it. Was there anything else I was going to show you? Oh yes. One more project. Now, I could probably figure out when I bought this. I remember I bought it in Denmark on holiday. And it's probably the late 1990s. And it is a advent calendar. So it's got these little rings, little metal rings that you put on it, and then you tie up a little package, little parcel with something tasty or otherwise on it. I haven't worked on it in years and years and years. I'm not sure it's really my style, although I do like a sweetie advent calendar. But I actually have done quite a lot of it. Maybe this is something that I could get finished off for this Christmas. So it's got like a blue Santa and a red Santa, and then a sleigh with a reindeer, which is headless. Poor reindeer. So yeah, I've got a few more projects that I've done a little bit on that I've not started anything on them for the SAL because I don't think I'm really interested in them. I wouldn't put them anywhere. They're probably just going to sit in my pile, and maybe my taste again will change in the future and I'll pick them up. So yeah, so I think I've blethered on for long enough. If you have enjoyed my video, then please say hello in the comments. If you do Flosstube as well, let me know, and I'd love to follow your channel. And yes, I'm very glad to have found Flosstube, although as I say, my purse is less glad because it's a bit emptier than it was. But oh, so many lovely goodies. So I kind of hope that over this, by doing these videos, I might deal with these shameful projects that haven't found a finished place anywhere, and that I can have some accountability for different projects. The SAL that I do on my blog is very much working on one project and sharing progress on it until it's finished, and then picking another project and working on that. But as I say, for the last few months I've had little side projects ongoing, and sometimes they languish for a while. So yeah, so I'll share kind of where I'm up to with all of these. So maybe this is coming up to the end of April. So I will be back at the end of May and see if I've made any progress. But thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my ramblings. And I will speak to you again very soon. Lots of love. Take care.